This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. It's Friday, July 8th, 2022. Let's talk about the news. From Reuters, Boris Johnson quits as UK Prime Minister, dragged down by scandals. After several days of will he, won't he speculation, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has announced his resignation after years of scandals that always seemed on the brink of taking down his administration, but never managed to do so till now. The final straw was a wave of resignations from within his own party. At least 59 ministers quit before he finally agreed to step down, and though he has said he will stay until a successor is named, likely sometime in the fall, many in his party want him to leave immediately, handing the role over to his deputy, Dominic Raab. And the leader of the opposition Labour Party has said that he'll call a confidence vote if the Tories don't make Johnson leave immediately. From the Associated Press, US and UK leaders raise fresh alarms about Chinese espionage. The heads of the FBI and MI5, the US and UK's intelligence services, have said that the Chinese government is stepping up efforts to steal technologies from foreign governments and business entities, and that they're investing heavily in hacking and spying that allows them to outperform their international competitors and stifle dissent both internally and abroad. This rare co-presentation by spy masters from 2 countries was meant to drive home the seriousness of their message, as China has long sought such capabilities, which has in turn allowed them to leapfrog stages of scientific and technological development. And that's allowed them to up their economic, military, and surveillance capacity dramatically over the past few decades. But now they're apparently also applying pressure directly to individuals around the world as part of this effort, both to do more of what they've been doing, and possibly as part of a larger effort to arm themselves for an eventual takeover attempt against Taiwan. And from Deutsche Welle, European Parliament backs listing nuclear energy and gas as green. Following ongoing energy shortages due to unseasonable heat waves and diminished inflow of gas from Russia, the European Parliament has voted in favor of a proposal that natural gas and nuclear power plants should be considered climate-friendly investments in some cases. The logic is that while the EU wants to convert completely to renewable energy over the next few decades, right now they're in trouble, as much of their electricity and heat comes from gas, and a lot of that gas comes from Russia, which until Russia invaded Ukraine and the EU took Ukraine's side, was a reliable vendor. So they've made all their plans and built their infrastructure around reliable gas from Russian sources. This labeling policy, then, is meant to allow investment to bolster nuclear and natural gas infrastructure to help ease the economic pain the EU would otherwise feel over the next decade in a situation in which Russia is no longer a reliable vendor, and would ostensibly only apply to relatively clean gas projects that are replacing more polluting coal plants, and which have a plan to switch to renewable or low-carbon gases by the end of 2035, and nuclear plants that are granted construction permits by 2045 and avoid significant harm to water resources and the environment. Some policymakers and quite a few businesses and investors have made their opposition to this move known, and the vote in favor of this proposal was much closer than previously anticipated. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com, and you can support this and other related projects, like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.